We are learning already. Day one and we're learning. We're going to have human skin cells. We're going to have dirt brought in from outside on our shoes. We're going to have maybe combustible materials from the atmosphere. And these are all going to play a part. So as a conservator, what we do is we learn from the surface, from the painting, what it tells us what it needs.
The painting has been in store since I arrived. I had never seen the painting until today in full, which has been quite exciting. It's very expressive, it's so expressive. You can see gesturing in the painting, and I think that emotion, I think like that mastery of the materiality of the painting. I don't know, it has some kind of dynamic inside the painting that I love when I look at it.
So there are lots of ways we can approach this, but essentially we need to understand what we have. So using Christina's mock-ups is so valuable. Using dirt deposited on those mock-ups to trial different methods, because it's very, very, very easy to damage an acrylic painting. How do you mimic a dirt layer? How is that dirt sitting on the surface of an acrylic painting?
So the first thing we did was to look at the original painting and then actually making the replicas. And by making the replicas, you go, oh no, that would have never worked. We know from many interviews with him that he diluted his paints down and he used acrylic paint and acrylic house emulsion paint sometimes. So we started with that. We could tell by the vibrancy of the colours they were probably acrylic and probably Glasgow, which we know he used for the painting that we were studying. So we started on that basis. And then of course the materials he used, like squeegees and brushes and flicking paint on, which our one clearly has, flicked paint on it. And also you can see why the way the paint's run down the painting, which direction he painted most of the painting, and so it was all that information. And then clearly brushes at the beginning to push that painting to get that wash effect. And this painting's not been many places, so it's not likely, as far as we know, that it's had any conservation treatment. So that's quite important, and it's at that moment where the conservation is key to its longevity and its way that it looks for the future.
What about music?
Or music. How about music? How about, when you think about how...
It's like notes. You've got the tone,
and
the shape and the colour are like musical notes or a musical piece, isn't it? It's like a...
And then you see that the splash, and then those things that are like coming there, like the green spot, like it's like kind of a boom, a note that is just going wild, but then it's just perfect in that composition. Yeah, I love that.
There are passages where Hoyland has used a darker paint within a stroke of his knife, and it's in different intensities. And there are times when we have questioned whether what we're looking at is a dirt layer or what we're looking at is a paint layer. And there are areas where it's almost raw canvas and the dust gets right into that, but across this great big rectangle here, it's a very shiny sheen of paint. So the dirt doesn't adhere in the same way to that. So whereas here, around the edges, my problem has been dirt that's inside all the weave. Sometimes it's just tiny little tweaks of the solutions, just changing one element, increasing the surfactant or increasing the chelation or removing or decreasing the chelation and increasing the surfactant. That's just or changing the pH might just unlock the bonds that are holding that dirt onto the surface. I'm moving very slowly across the surface that he worked on rapidly, and you can really feel that energy, and you feel the energy in his brushwork. And I am lost. It's like another planet crawling across the surface of a planet, trying to ease out dirt from within the interstices of the impasto. Just, I'm in my own world. It is such a privilege to be that close and really appreciate the textures. It's just wonderful, and the colour changes, and it is an enormous privilege to be lost in it.